Burundi is a small landlocked country located in East Africa. It is bordered by Rwanda to the north, Tanzania to the east and south, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo to the west. Its geographic coordinates are 3.3731 degrees south, 29.9189 degrees east. As of 2021, the estimated population of Burundi is approximately 12.3 million people, according to the United Nations. The capital city is Bujumbura, which is located on the northeastern shore of Lake Tanganyika. The official languages of Burundi are Kirundi and French. Burundi's history is long and complex, dating back to pre-colonial times. Here is a brief overview of the main events and periods. Pre-colonial era. Burundi's early history is marked by the emergence of the TWA, a hunter-gatherer group, and the Hutu and Tutsi, agriculturalist groups who migrated to the region in the 14th century. The Tutsi established a feudal kingdom in the 17th century, with the king as its central figure. This monarchy continued until the arrival of European colonizers in the late 19th century. Colonial era. Burundi was initially colonized by Germany in the late 19th century and later by Belgium, which ruled the country from 1916 to 1962. During this period, the colonial powers imposed a system of indirect rule, with Tutsi monarchs acting as intermediaries. The Belgians also reinforced ethnic divisions, giving the Tutsi minority more privileges and access to education and administrative positions than the Hutu majority. Independence and post-independence. Burundi gained independence in 1962, with Mwami King Mwambutsa IV as its first president. The early years of independence were marked by political instability and violence, including a series of coups and ethnic clashes between the Hutu and Tutsi. In 1972, a Hutu-led rebellion against the Tutsi-led government led to the massacre of tens of thousands of Hutus. The 1980s saw a period of relative stability, with the introduction of a multi-party system and a new constitution in 1981. However, the country was plunged into conflict again in 1993, when Melchior Ndadaye, a Hutu, was elected president in the country's first democratic election. He was assassinated by Tutsi soldiers in a coup just 4 months later, triggering a civil war that lasted until 2005. Recent developments. Since the end of the civil war, Burundi has made some progress towards political and economic stability, but the country remains one of the poorest in the world. Political tensions between the ruling party and the opposition have remained high, and there have been allegations of human rights abuses and political repression under the current government led by President Pierre Nkurunziza. In 2015, President Nkurunziza's decision to run for a third term in office sparked widespread protests and violence, leading to a crackdown on dissent and a humanitarian crisis. The situation in the country remains fragile, and many Burundians continue to face poverty and displacement. Economy and development. Burundi is one of the poorest countries in the world, with a GDP per capita of approximately $300 USD in 2021. The economy is primarily based on subsistence agriculture, which employs the majority of the population. The main crops grown in Burundi include coffee, tea, cotton, and tobacco. Other sectors of the economy include mining, mostly for tin, tantalum, and tungsten, fishing, and livestock. Despite its potential for economic growth, Burundi faces many challenges, including political instability, social conflict, and underinvestment in infrastructure and education. These challenges have hindered the country's ability to achieve sustainable development and reduce poverty. To address these issues, the Burundian government has developed a national development plan, which outlines the country's priorities for economic growth and poverty reduction. The plan focuses on promoting private sector development, improving agricultural productivity, expanding access to basic services, such as healthcare and education, and building infrastructure, such as roads and electricity. The international community has also provided support to Burundi's development efforts, with aid from organizations such as the World Bank, the African Development Bank, and the United Nations Development Programme. However, aid has been reduced in recent years due to concerns over political instability and human rights violations. Despite these challenges, Burundi has made some progress in recent years, with improvements in access to education and healthcare, and some expansion of the private sector. However, much more needs to be done to achieve sustainable economic growth and reduce poverty in the country. Travel tips and guide. If you are planning to travel to Burundi, here are some tips and recommendations to help you make the most of your trip. Check travel advisories. Before you travel to Burundi, make sure to check for any travel advisories issued by your country's Foreign Affairs or State Department. Political tensions and security concerns can be a challenge in Burundi, so it's important to stay informed before and during your trip. Get vaccinated. It's recommended to get vaccinated against yellow fever, hepatitis A and B, typhoid, and meningitis before traveling to Burundi. It's also important to take precautions against malaria, such as using mosquito nets and wearing insect repellent. Obtain necessary documents. You will need a visa to enter Burundi, which can be obtained from the embassy or consulate of Burundi in your home country. You will also need a valid passport and proof of yellow fever vaccination. Learn some basic phrases. While French is the official language of Burundi, Kirundi is widely spoken in the country. It's a good idea to learn some basic phrases in Kirundi or French before you go to help you communicate with locals. Respect local customs. Burundi is a conservative and traditional country, and it's important to respect local customs and dress modestly, particularly in rural areas. It's also important to ask for permission before taking photos of people or religious sites. Be aware of your surroundings. Crime can be a concern in some areas of Burundi, so it's important to be aware of your surroundings and take precautions, such as avoiding walking alone at night or carrying valuables with you. Explore the natural beauty. Burundi is a country of natural beauty, with national parks, lakes, and waterfalls. Make sure to visit places like Kibera National Park, Lake Tanganyika, and Gishora Drum Sanctuary to experience the country's unique cultural and natural heritage. Overall, while Burundi may not be a typical tourist destination, it offers a unique and rewarding travel experience for those who are willing to explore its natural beauty and cultural richness.